we can do that.
All right. Well, but there's some talk. No, he did not come into administration and do this. But I said, based on what I'm hearing, and talking to Councilman Jones, among others, it was done in a way that the constituency said we were involved. They had many over the years were never involved the way you were able to get your folks to come to the meetings, hear what you had to say, and as you say, play acting county exec.
That's right. I mean, and on the back end, the other thing we've promised is additional transparency, so people can see where the awards are going, how the dollars are being spent, so they can hold me accountable. They can see where every dollar's going, and that we're trying to be good stewards of it. Councilman Jones is actually taking it a step further. I believe he's got 2 town halls in his district on top of the town hall that we had, on top of the public hearing, on top of the engagement tool. So it's been really exciting to see how people have responded. We're less than half of what we're spending today. And so I think people realize we can't pay teachers and build schools without that kind of support. Interesting note, so that same year, 92, is when Camden Yards was built. And we were able to build that for just a little over $100 million here in Maryland. Wow. You fast forward a few years later, when M&T Bank was built, it was over $200 million to build that. And now you look at today, you look at Lucas Oil Stadium and some of these other stadiums, we're talking $1 billion. So we used to be able to build a Camden Yards for what it now costs to build one high school. And so as we're looking at Lansdowne and Towson and Delaney and Sparrows Point and other needs in our middle schools and high schools, we're talking real dollars. And I'm really excited about Speaker Adrienne Jones and her leadership. I think we're going to finally get that partnership for things like school construction done, but we're still going to be required to do our part in Baltimore County.
The process of taking this to your constituents, councilmanic district by councilmanic district, and then after it was done, did you go back again? Did I hear that correctly?
We're continuing to engage. We had just recently we had almost 100 people testify at the county council budget hearing. It was almost 2-to-1 in favor of the budget, which includes new revenues to help pay for some of these things. But I think people, because they were at the town halls, we had an online budget tool where people could play county executive. They got to come testify before the county council. I think our residents sort of get that, look, the last time we touched our income tax, it's been 30 years. And that was when Bill Clinton was first elected president, and a gallon of gas was just over $1.50. And some of the other issues that people really have identified as quality of life, whether it's transportation, having a chief diversity officer, investing in sustainability efforts, more road paving, more sidewalks, the things that people really care about, parks for their kids, turf fields, putting the resources in place that people can have a vibrant community and a vibrant place to live in Baltimore County. As you pointed out, we've been telling the story through town halls, public engagement, that we inherited this $82 million deficit from prior decisions and prior administrations. As we were telling that story to people, it was incredible. We would say we've got an $80 million deficit. People would say that's really awful, but I still want my schools built, and I still want my parks, and I want my roads paved, and I need new sidewalks. And I said, okay, I hear you. So we went back and we identified $20 million in cuts and savings first and foremost, and then we said, look, we got to both fill the rest of the gap, and we have to make sure that we're building these new high schools, that we're paying our police officers and our teachers a fair wage, that we're promoting things like sustainability and diversity, which are specifically called out and invested in this budget. So we've responsibly, I think, both closed the gap, closed the deficit,